But there's so much to speak about tonight, from Trump's epic spray to Iran's cruel execution of those it claims are Israeli spies. Now, just as the president was looking calm, rational, presidential, making decisions thoughtfully and in a considered way, he undoes it all with a foul-mouthed tirade. He could have picked up the phone to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last night and urged him not to resume the military campaign against Iran, to stick with the ceasefire. He could have had a rational conversation. But instead, he criticised one of his closest allies in front of the world.
There was one rocket that I guess was fired overboard. It was after the time limit, and it missed its target. And now Israel's going out. These guys got to calm down. Ridiculous.
The Wall Street Journal editorial board summed up this bizarre statement perfectly, writing, Israel and Iran exchanged serious fire in the hours before the ceasefire, as is common, but Iran fired 3 missiles after the truce went into effect. In response, Mr. Trump unloaded his anger on Israel for planning to retaliate. And the piece went on to explain what many guests on this program did last night, that it's about deterrence. If there's a ceasefire, it has to be abided by. These terrorist regimes, whether it's Iran or Hezbollah or Hamas, it's terror proxies, they need to know they can't fire missiles into suburban areas, into homes, whenever they like. But the part of Trump's spray that's had the world in a spin is this explosive sentence. In it, Trump drew an unwarranted equivalence between Israel and Iran, alluding to the forever war narrative.
We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.
Now, the Wall Street Journal again put it perfectly when its editorial board said the president seemed to treat Israel and Iran as 2 equivalent threats to his diplomacy. Here's what they're doing. Iran fights because it is devoted to Israel's destruction. Israel fights because it is devoted to not being destroyed. Couldn't be said better than that. And Iran needs to now show that it is going to give up its forever goal to destroy Israel. Unless it does this, there can be no genuine ceasefire, no genuine peace, just a brief truce until the Iranian regime finds another way to kill Israelis and Westerners. And this should be a key feature of the talks that America is urging Iran to resume. And Trump should also insist on Iran providing access to the International Atomic Energy Agency to inspect its nuclear sites. Now, of course, Trump's unpresidential conduct and swearing made headlines the world over. And the papers had some fun with the dramatic events last night, with a West Australian headline, Trump drops F-bomb, and then also by Chris Dorr in the Nightly, after Iran broke the ceasefire, Iran can't handle the truce. But it does look like Trump's public threats to Israel worked. It was diplomatic pressure taken to new and extreme levels that I think are truly unbecoming. The president shouldn't have treated Israel that way. It was disappointing behaviour from Trump, although there is still cause to be immensely grateful for his military strike that made the world undoubtedly a safer place. And so long as Israel has finished the job, it's not a bad thing Trump is imposing the ceasefire. And he also has, we have to keep in mind, a possible ulterior motive as well. He wants to win the Nobel Peace Prize. He probably doesn't have a chance, but he certainly doesn't have a chance if Israel and Iran are still at war. And just hours after Trump's vicious spray last night, Benjamin Netanyahu showed he is a true diplomat, remaining composed and gracious, even thanking Trump.
מעולם לא היה לישראל ידיד גדול כמו הנשיא טראמפ בבית הלבן, ואני מודה לו מאוד על עבודתנו המשותפת.
And Netanyahu has said that the war goals in Iran are complete. Israel always expected them to take about 2 weeks. But then today, making major global news was a leaked report by Pentagon's Defense Intelligence Agency. It's cast doubt on whether the nuclear material has in fact been destroyed. And this report claims that Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium was probably moved to a secret site. Now, the key words there are probably moved. So it doesn't seem like this agency knows for certain. Now, Netanyahu and Trump have both rejected this claim, as has the United States ambassador to Israel, Steve Witkoff. He said he'd read the damage assessment reports, not just from the American government, he said, from multiple governments.
We put 12 bunker buster bombs on Fordo. There's no doubt that it breached the canopy. There's no doubt that it was well within reach of the depth that these bunker buster bombs go to. And there's no doubt that it was obliterated. So the reporting out there that in some ways suggests that we did not achieve the objective is just completely preposterous.
And Trump lashed out at the CNN and the New York Times tonight at the NATO summit, this just in the past couple of hours, for publishing reports that the sites hadn't been destroyed. He called them scum, and he repeated that insult multiple times.
You had some great reporters, but you have scum. CNN is scum. MSDNC is scum. The New York Times is scum. They're bad people. They're sick.
He also praised Israel for turning its planes around and sticking with the ceasefire.
Israel came back yesterday. I was so proud of them because they came back. You know, they went out because they felt there was a violation. And technically they were right, but it just wouldn't have worked out very well. And they brought the planes back.
And Trump said if he hadn't sent in the B-2 bombers with the bunker-busting bombs, the war on Iran would still be continuing.
But had we not succeeded with that hit ended the war. That hit ended the war.
Now, apart from his fury towards the media, Trump seemed a lot calmer today. He's obviously pleased the ceasefire has held for the time being. But while Iran isn't firing missiles at Israel, there are serious repercussions internally. It has reportedly executed 3 people that it claims were Mossad spies. And Mossad, if you don't know, is the Israeli intelligence agency. Iran claims the men smuggled in equipment that was used to kill 1 Iranian by Israel. And these 3 men were hanged. And this is the 3rd set of executions of people accused of being Mossad agents just in the past few days. And this is the true nature of the Iranian regime. It's epitomized by cruelty, theocratic tyranny, persecution, state-sponsored violence, and brutality. And looking back now after the past couple of weeks, we have to say it is a great pity that this evil regime survived the war. Now, the President of the United States, as you know, has always loved social media, declaring to the world what he's thinking or feeling about anyone or any topic without any regard for the consequences. Diplomacy is a thing of the past for this current president. He told the media when he spoke before flying to NATO last night that he'd been up all night watching cable television. And then you can see by the time that he posts on Truth Social that he went on a posting spree as well. He unleashed on AOC in one post, calling her stupid and one of the dumbest people in Congress. No complaints there. In another post, he complained in capital letters about the fake news CNN and New York Times, which he said teamed up to demean his strikes on Iran. Now, this is obviously highly amusing, highly entertaining, very unpresidential. But then Trump posted a video that, even for him, is highly controversial. Now, he's trying to get Iran to abide by a ceasefire. He yelled at Israel over this, desperately wants Iran to abide by the ceasefire, yet at the same time, he's posting this.
Bomb, bomb, Iran. Bomb, 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 Iran. Throw some rocks, tell the Ayatollah gonna put you in a box. Bomb Iran, bomb, 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 bomb Iran. The country's got a feeling, really, it's the ceiling. Bomb Iran, bomb, 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 bomb Iran. Old Uncle Sam's getting pretty hot. Time to turn Iran into a parking lot. Bomb Iran, bomb, 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 bomb.
And that's, of course, to the happy tune of the Beach Boys' Barbara Ann. And did you hear that line there? It was in the subtitles, put the Ayatollah in a box. Well, let's hope that doesn't offend the Supreme Leader, Khamenei, to such an extent that he resumes his campaign of terror against Israel.